Welcome back to CNEN, your crypto news entertainment network. I'm Christopher, and today we're going to be talking about something that could completely change the future of cryptocurrencies, as well as the entire digital asset industry. I'm talking about altcoin ETFs. So, we've already seen Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs approved. Together, those two alone have a combined market cap of about 260 billion US dollars. But this isn't the end of crypto ETFs. Altcoin ETFs are next, and they're not just another investment product. They could unlock massive capital, reshape liquidity, and legitimize crypto for mainstream investors in a way never seen before. So let's break down what ETFs are, why they matter, what risks they carry, and why altcoin ETFs could be the biggest catalyst yet for the crypto industry. So, what is an ETF? An ETF is a basket of assets that trades on traditional exchanges just like a stock. ETFs were created to make investing simple and accessible. They're regulated, they come in with built-in disclosures, and they're designed for investors who want exposure without the hassle of managing assets themselves. The SEC even has an investor bulletin on ETFs. The message is clear. ETFs are about simplicity, regulation, and accessibility. Outside the US, you might have heard the term ETP, which is an exchange-traded product. Same idea, different legal wrapper. So, how do crypto ETFs work? So instead of setting up a wallet, managing private keys, or trusting crypto exchange, you simply buy shares of an ETF. The fund holds the crypto on your behalf with all the regulatory guardrails that come with it. Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs have already shown how powerful this is. Billions of dollars have flowed into them since launch, not just in the US, but in other markets as well. So why does this matter? Because Bitcoin and Ethereum are not just two assets, are not the only two assets, but just a couple of cogs in a much bigger ecosystem. Crypto isn't just about them. It's thousands of projects solving problems like payments, smart contracts, interoperability, and tokenization of real-world assets. Altcoin ETFs would give investors exposure to this broader universe. And this is where things start getting interesting. Many altcoins outside the top 10 have market caps under $10 billion. Even relatively small inflows could dramatically move prices, with total crypto market cap sitting at about $1.5 trillion, the total altcoin market cap sitting at about $1.5 trillion outside of Ethereum and Bitcoin. A wave of capital directed at strong top-tier altcoins through ETFs could be seismic. It could elevate some projects to rival Bitcoin or Ethereum in visibility and adoption. So, why are we talking about this now? Well, because regulators have just opened the door wider. The SEC recently approved generic listing standards for digital asset ETFs. This is a huge deal. Why, you might ask? Well, before, every ETF had to go through a slow case-by-case approval process. That created bottlenecks because there's only so many people able to look over everything, approving everything, and it stalled plenty of altcoin ETFs for months. Now, as long as a product meets the criteria, it can get listed far more easily. That accelerates the timeline for altcoin ETFs. So let's put the potential inflows in perspective here. SIFMA, the leading voice in American securities industry, estimates there is approximately $72.3 trillion in liquid retail traditional investment assets. So there's $72.3 trillion that can be moved within a day in traditional finance and things like stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and other ETFs. So even if investors allocate just 5% of that into crypto ETFs, that's over $3.5 trillion. For context, that's nearly double the current altcoin market outside of Ethereum. And that's just the start. As crypto goes more mainstream, these allocations could rise 10%, 20%, even higher. So ETFs can be seen as bridges. but not like the bridges like the Golden Gate Bridge or even bridges like between blockchains. Um, but more like bridges in traditional finance, in digital assets. For years, crypto investors have been waiting for this, the moment when trillions of dollars sitting in retirement accounts and portfolios can flow into digital assets through a safe, regulated channel. No other instrument has had the power to move this much capital across industries. So ETFs. This is my little analogy of the day. What I think about ETFs. ETFs are to crypto what the App Store was to smartphones. Before the App Store, only techies or educated people could install certain apps or programs, and you had to find the website, sometimes follow complicated steps, sometimes download sketchy software. The App Store changed everything. Suddenly, anyone could install an app with a single click. That simplicity drove mass adoption. Crypto is in a similar place today. Right now, only the technically inclined feel comfortable with wallets, keys, and exchanges, but once institutions make altcoins available in an ETF wrapper, buying them becomes a one-click experience. That could unlock adoption on a massive scale. So, of course, there are risks with ETFs. Um, One risk is liquidity for insiders. Whales and early investors may use ETFs inflows as an exit position. That could create sell pressure for new investors. There's also the risk of centralization. If a certain company holds too much of a crypto asset, it could sway the votes, similar to what we saw happen with Crypto.com's Kronos coin earlier this year. So yeah, please definitely do your own research. It's not all just sunshines and rainbows with ETFs. There is some downsides. So let's recap. ETFs bring legitimacy to the market. They make crypto accessible to the mainstream. Altcoin ETFs represent a major opportunity. They open the door to the full spectrum of digital assets. Capital floodgates are massive. Even small allocations equal trillions. But risks remain: centralization, liquidity shocks, volatility. So here's my question for you. Which altcoin ETF would you buy first? Solana, XRP, HBAR, AVAX, or maybe a basket ETF of like the top 10? Let me know in the comments. And as always, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Please do your own research. This is just crypto entertainment news. I'm Christopher. This is CNEN, your crypto news entertainment network. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.